What is up, my Pika crew? This is ThePikaWu, and welcome to another Pokemon Wi-Fi battle. This one's going to be a underused tier match against a guy called Astro Gecko. A link to his channel will be in the description below. So I've actually battled him twice, and I'll be posting the second battle as well. And I'm using the same underused tier team. And this team is a new team that is a balanced offensive team that revolves around 2 defensive Pokemon that set up as many entry hazards as possible, and then 4 offensive Pokemon to clean up and sweep. So looking at both of our teams, we're running generally offensive teams. My opponent actually has 6 offensive Pokemon, or 5, and he doesn't really have a dedicated defensive core. One thing that I noticed is that he's pretty weak to fire, so I want to take advantage of that by using my Chandelure to the best of my abilities. But the 2 Pokemon that are most threatening against me are the Salamence and that Sharpedo, just because they're very strong. I have a Dragon weakness, and Sharpedo with a speed boost ability can really dent my team, if not sweep it. On my end, I think Chandelure is definitely useful to keep late game, and my Qwilfish, because I wall that Sharpedo, and to some degree, I can deal with the majority of my opponent's physical attackers with Qwilfish. So let's get right into the individual Pokemon. The first Pokemon I have on my team is actually my Machamp, and this is an Assault Vest set with Dynamic Punch, Knockoff, Stone Edge, and Bullet Punch. Bullet Punch is there for priority. I kind of chose it over Ice Punch, which kind of sucks as Ice Punch gives extra coverage, but I felt like Machamp's a little slow and I needed some priority. It's going to be max attack, I believe, and max HP and some speed. So my next Pokemon is my Chandelure, and this is my Choice Scarf set. And I'm running max speed, max special attack, modest nature, so that I can maximize my damage output. And I'm running Fire Blast, Shadow Ball, Energy Ball. My last move is actually Flamethrower, because I wanted a little more accuracy in situations where I'm not comfortable going for Fire Blast. My third Pokemon is my Fortress, and this is my physically defensive Fortress with max HP, max defense. And I'm running Rapid Spin, Stealth Rock, Toxic Spikes, and Gyro Ball. My fourth Pokemon, my Mega Sceptile, is max speed, max special attack with Giga Drain, Leaf Storm, Dragon Pulse, and Focus Blast. And this is really, in many games, the MVP of my team because it's just so deadly with the really high base 145 speed and base 145 special attack. My fifth Pokemon is going to be my Hydreigon, and it's similar to my previous Hydreigon set. It's Life Orb, but the only difference is instead of running Taunt, I'm running Flash Cannon instead, just to deal with those pesky fairy types. And it's running max speed and max special attack. And my last Pokemon is my Qwilfish, and this is also, I believe, a physically defensive set. And it's running Waterfall, Spikes, Taunt, and Thunder Wave. So that is going to be my team, and I hope you guys enjoy the battle, so yeah, enjoy. So I'm going to lead off with my Machamp because it hits basically any Pokemon hard on my opponent's team, while my opponent leads off with his Salamence. So this is a really great situation for me because he doesn't know what kind of set I am, whether I carry Ice Punch or not, so he is going to be scared away by a potential Ice Punch, but in reality I carry Bullet Punch instead. So I'm free to just go for the Stone Edge because if he stays in, it's going to deal super effective damage. If he switches out, he's most likely going to bring in his Froslass to resist the potential Ice Punch, and that's just going to get taken down by a Stone Edge plus Bullet Punch combination. And that's really great because once his Froslass is down, I don't have to worry about it Destiny Bonding any Pokemon or sending up any spikes. So he's going to bring in his Salamence again, and after the -2 attack, I am not comfortable staying in and going for the Stone Edge because he'll be able to deal more damage to me than I will deal to him. So I'm just going to switch out and bring in my Fortress. Luckily for me, he does miss the Draco Meteor, and I do get a free switch in, and I can just set up my Stealth Rocks here. He, on the other hand, is just going to go for the Fire Blast next turn, which I kind of should have expected, but I decided to stay in anyways because I felt entry hazards were more important than having Fortress at a good amount of health. So he's basically going to 2-shot me. I'm just going to stay in anyways to set up a Toxic Spikes in case he doesn't take me down. And he actually does switch out into his Mamoswine, so that actually works out great. I think he was predicting a double, possibly into my Chandelure, and that's why he brought in his Mamoswine, but I decided just to stay in, and it works out great because now I get 1 layer of Toxic Spikes before he takes me out. So he's just going to take me out with an Earthquake, and that's perfectly fine. I do realize that one Pokemon that really stars in this battle against my opponent's team is going to be my Chandelure, because it outspeeds everything and it's really strong with modest nature, and there's no need to predict at this point because most of his team is weak to fire except for the Salamence. But because I did get those Stealth Rocks in the battle early on in the match, I can actually 2-hit KO with Flamethrower. So I don't even have to risk the accuracy with Fire Blast. I can just go for the safe 100% accurate Flamethrower and take down his Salamence. So that actually opens up the window for my Chandelure to deal a lot of damage against my opponent's team, because the only check he has left against my Chandelure is his Sharpedo. And that's perfectly fine. Once I take down the Sharpedo, he has nothing against my Chandelure and I can sweep. So right here, I'm kind of scared away because he can go for the Aqua Jet, he can boost up his speed by going for Protect, but I do have a decent counter against this Sharpedo, and that is my Quillfish. The only thing he can do against my Quillfish is a potential Earthquake, but -1 Earthquake won't be doing too much damage, and I should be able to live 2 or 3 hits. So I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Waterfall. I want to deal as much damage as possible against that Sharpedo because I want to chip away at its health, and I'm going to get that Poison Recoil if he stays in. But he actually brings in his Mamoswine instead, and that works out perfectly. I think he was expecting me to set up entry hazards or going for a non-attacking move, but like I said earlier, I want to take down that Quillfish as soon as possible. So that works out great. His Mamoswine gets taken down, and he's going to bring in his Whimsicott on the switch. I know a lot of Whimsicott sets in UU can be offensive with the Fairy Plate and Giga Drain and Moonblast, and because I don't really have the greatest special defense, I don't want to take that hit, and I want to conserve my Quillfish at full HP to deal with the Sharpedo. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Chandelure on the switch because I can take any hit. If he wants to go for a non-attacking move, that works as well. And again, at this point, he doesn't have any counters. He only has a check, which is his Sharpedo. And that means I can take down 1 Pokemon. He ends up deciding, my opponent decides to sack his Sharpedo. And that's going to get taken down easily because of very paper-thin defenses. In my opinion, I would have conserved that Sharpedo because that was his basically win condition. And now with this Sharpedo taken out, he really has nothing to deal with this Chandelure. I outspeed the rest of my opponent's team because I'm Choice Scarf, and I'm locked into a Fire-type move where the rest of my opponent's team is weak to Fire. So that is going to be the game. I hope you guys enjoyed. It was a really quick game, but it's just here to highlight the team and how it functions, and you'll see this team a lot more in future videos. So if you guys enjoyed, feel free to leave a like, a favorite, and a comment. And if you guys haven't subscribed already, feel free to join the Pika crew by subscribing. So this is ThePikaWu. I'll see you guys next time, and peace out, guys.